a lot of times if I'm working on something and I want to use smoke, it is going to be more of an act. I mean, yeah, it's great to be able to use smoke in close-up. I mean, but you know, you got to jump through some hoops to get that done.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Hello and welcome to another Magic Matchup. I'm Eric Tate alongside my buddies Nick Lacapo and Sean Dunn, and today we are talking about one of my favorite topics, smoke devices.
Man, this is a tough one. Smoke devices.
It's real tough.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad we're here. We're talking about it, but man, this is a hot topic in Magic.
Yeah.
Smoking, yes.
Well, I think, you know, it can get a little controversial a little bit.
Yeah.
Because some people think that these are, you know, you should never use them. Other people use them way too much. Some people use them as just an accent. And there's devices that come on the market and off the market all the time.
And there was no devices. And then there was like 1,000 devices, right? So yeah, it's crazy.
And today we're talking about 3 different devices. If you've never seen this show before, we take 3 different products from the same category. One is a budget option, one is a mid-range, and then we have a premium product. And we talk about all 3 of them, compare and contrast them. Normally, we show you a live performance, but I don't think we need to do that this time because we can actually show the devices a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we all know that you're just going to smoke.
Yeah,
right?
We're talking about some devices that are going to put out some fancy fog.
Yeah. So who's up first? I'm up first.
I think you are. I think so. Yeah. So let's actually just quickly talk about. We've got Smokescreen by Magic Smith. We have Smoggler L by Sigma, and we have the Smoke Cube by Miranda. Smokescreen is the budget option. Smoggler is the medium range, and Smoke Cube is the premium option.
It's funny to think budget because almost any device that you get is going to be most likely 3 figures, right?
Yeah.
Most likely. So, Smokescreen, Magic Smith. So, Magic Smith, great inventor, creator of magic. He's a great magician too. Chris Smith, great dealer. So when I saw he was putting out a smoke device, you know, obviously caught my interest right away. And here's what you're gonna get. Here's the actual device. This little guy also comes with some fluid, some extra stuff that we'll talk about, and then the charger. So it is rechargeable. I think they're all rechargeable for the most part. Oh, I see some batteries over there. Okay, anyway, so this is USB charger, and the way that this is going to work is you're just going to add a little bit of the fluid to the wick that we have here, and you're pretty much good to go for about 10 performances. So once you got it charged up and you got a little bit of liquid on there, you're going to get about 10 hits of puff of smoke. So I'm going to turn this on, and then I will show you what it would look like. Now, the great thing is it is super small. It's designed to be able to be used in conjunction with other tricks, coin bends, what was the other one I was thinking of? Like, I mean, you could have it like behind your cell phone or your deck of cards or whatever, but the trigger is this like little ledge right here. So it's really easy when it's in the palm of your hand to just simply touch the edge of this, right? And when you do, you're gonna get like this little crackling puff of smoke, right? It's not one that's gonna like output like a lot of smoke. You could argue whether that's good or bad. Yeah. But as a little accent to other things that are going on in your performance, I think it works really well. Like, it's so easy to have it underneath your cell phone, right? And if you know, maybe it's one of those defective cell phones that is going to.
That's a joke that I've used for you because I use a smoke device all the time, and I'll borrow someone's phone. And I'll say, "Hey, what kind of phone is that?" And they'll go, "An iPhone." I'll go, "Oh, it looks like a Samsung to me." And I'll just like have it start smoking, which is just so good.
Does that joke still work?
Yeah, it really does. I used it recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so you can see how, like, you know, I'm just holding the device down right now, and you just get that little extra little bit of smoke to accent whatever you might be doing. So fits nicely in the palm of your hand. You know, I think about 10 puffs of smoke is perfect for anybody that's doing strolling walk around because, you know, all you have to do to get this thing reset afterward is you're just going to add a tiny bit of the liquid to the wick that's in here, and then you're good.
It's really only a little bit too, and I should say that is something that all of these products have in common. Is it is that tube of smoke device,
Yeah.
you'll never run out.
Yeah,
It's-
especially this one. Yeah, there's no way to run out. And the charge, the battery life on this stuff, almost, at least for this, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
It's going to last more than a night. So in my opinion, it's basically forever. You know, because I mean, yeah, you could wake up the next morning and probably still do it, but you're not gonna have to worry about like doing a long gig and having this thing run out. So perfect. I've used it in shows. I used it as an accent for a carded number thing that I was doing for a minute, where I was like doing some mental stuff, and then my brain was smoking.
That's so good.
Yeah,
So it's a gag.
Yeah, it's like a little gag that I did, but perfect for that because I just had it on in my pocket the whole show, and I knew you don't have to worry about this going off or something in your pocket. I just reached in, grabbed it, did the thing, and it was great. So yeah, this is $100. $100 flat from Magic Smith, and to me, it's a complete product.
Yeah. It's a great size for this.
Yeah,
this,
no, it fits right in your hand. Like it feels good in your hand.
Just
right?
squeeze.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's on. Oh, no, it is.
Wow.
On. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I do like how with this one, and I've got some general thoughts on smoke devices I'll get to a little bit later, but I like how much force is required to trigger that.
Yeah.
Because it's not really sensitive where it's going to go off in your pocket or somewhere, which can be an issue if you have a device where the button is really sensitive. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's not so much effort that you feel like you're going to break it.
Right.
I mean, the button sensitivity on that is really nice, and again, how much fluid it comes with, you're never going to. I remember buying a smoke device at a convention, and I was like, well, what if I need more of this? What is the juice that you need? And the person handed me an additional one and said, you will never run out. And I still haven't even gotten a quarter of, and I use smoke devices at every gig, I still haven't gotten through a quarter of the bottle of the first one. It's just insane how long that stuff goes.
Yeah, I'm glad that those are like almost non-issues anymore.
Yeah.
You're never going to run out of this. I mean, yes, you can run out of this, but I don't know how much you would have to.
Don't challenge me.
Yeah, and just to recharge it, just so you guys are aware, there's a little USB thing here. You're just going to stick that in there and then plug this into your wall or your computer. So yeah, I mean, this is a worker, man.
Yeah.
I really, really like Smokescreen.
Yeah. All right, Sean, take us through Smoggler L.
Well, Smoggler L, and I think it's on the site as Smoggler White.
Yeah, there's a few different versions.
There's a lot of
smogglers, but I think L is one of the smaller ones.
Yeah, and R is another small one. It's the pirate version. The R, Smoggler R. Anyway, so what this doesn't share with this and this is that this basically looks like you're buying something MacGyver made.
Yeah.
Which is a little scary.
Who's MacGyver, by the way?
MacGyver.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, showing my age there. But anyway, it looks kind of thrown together, and the quality of what it looks like is not so great. It's a little scary. It's simple. I'll be honest, I don't know a ton about it, and that's only because the tutorial is 5 minutes long. And I looked up Smoggler R tutorial because we sell it on the site, and that one was 2.5 minutes long or something. So it's twice as long as the previous version.
So they added credits, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. So the one thing that's good about that is that it's very simple. You can explain it to somebody like me in 5 minutes, and I can get it. So basically, same thing. You attach it here, charge it. It takes less than an hour to charge.
This is what outputs the smoke?
Yeah, and it's tiny. If you want something small, it's the smallest.
It's the smallest one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a lot smaller than every other one.
Yeah, there's no way to even stand it up.
Yeah, so you're talking about, you can put it under your watch, you can do all kinds of cool things like that. It in action, if I can do that, is the way that it works is probably the best thing about it. You turn this on, this is the remote, turn that on, and you press a button, and then it smokes. Right?
That's kind of cool. I like that it's got a light on it. That's interesting.
Yes. Now that's the cool part, but the other part that's really cool is it works on gravity. So it can be hands off. And the gravity mode is just if it turns over, then it starts smoking again.
Dropped it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
So it's a continuous smoke once it's turned over, and once you go up, it turns off. So let me show that again. So here we go. It turns down. If I'm using my hand this way, then it smokes, and then goes up, and then it's there. So
I think we might need to add a little.
And it needs a little bit of the glycerin. Yeah.
What's the deal with the light?
Let me turn that off. You know, if the tutorial was more than 5 minutes, I would probably know. But it's...
Because it's bright.
It is bright.
I mean, when I put it in my hand, I was like, well, that's kind of cool, actually. It looks like I have some sort of superpower going on. But
I don't think that's the purpose.
Because, and especially because if I saw something like this, I would be apt to put this in my like watch or something like that, or like some underneath my sleeve. But I don't need a flashlight coming out of my sleeve.
Yeah, the gravity feature of this is really, really cool, and you could do some interesting things with that.
I think if we go back and review the ad copy, and maybe there will be a lower thirds graphic here. I think that the L stands for light, and there is a version of this. I think there's a version of the Smoggler that does not have the light.
Interesting.
Because there are like 4 or 5 versions.
I can tell it's intentional. It's not there like as a light to tell you that it's on.
Yeah.
It's like that's a bright light.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know that gravity feature
very cool.
Is very cool and could be a real advancement, I think, in these types of devices because of this sort of thing here. You drop your hand, then it starts smoking out of nowhere, and clearly there's nothing in your hand. So you could just have things set up in your wristbands or watches and things like that. There's a lot of suggestions that are made, like in the ad copy, of things you could do, but that stuff's not taught in the tutorial, the 5-minute tutorial. But you know, once you have something like this, it sparks a lot of creativity, and a lot of ideas will just come naturally to you. So.
And how much is it?
It's $179.95.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to how Miranda's smoke cube. At the time that this came out, this was the world's smallest smoke cube. We obviously the Smoggler has blown that out of the water. This is by João Miranda, and this is really interesting. So what the smoke cube is you turn it on just like this, and there's 2 different modes. So the first one, it vibrates, and then if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you let it sit for a bit, I believe. That programs it to tell you a delay. Because now it's vibrated, so it's accepted this, because there's 2 different modes with the smoke cube. So with the delay, if I then press this button again, it'll vibrate to let you know that you've pressed it, then we wait 5 seconds, and then it will activate, and it will blow smoke out. There we go right there. So it'll blow smoke out for a period of time and then be done. That mode, the time delay mode, can be set every time this turns on. So when you turn it off and you turn it on again, it's going to have you select the different modes, and I'll go into the second mode in a second. But that's 5 seconds. If I wanted to delay it for 10 seconds, I would press the button 10 times. 15 seconds, I would press the button 15 times.
Wow.
So you can set that delay.
It remembers 15 clicks?
It remembers 15 clicks. Now, you do have to tell it how many seconds by the number of clicks. It's not like a sliding scale. There's no app that goes with it. But you can set it for a wide variety of different times. The other mode, and I'll just turn it off to reset it, and then turn it back on, is when you turn it on, if you press and hold the button for 3 seconds, and you can't hear it, but it's vibrating to acknowledge this. That is just the continuous mode. If I press the device once, it's going to start blowing smoke out, and it will continue to blow smoke out for up to a minute, I believe.
Oh, crazy.
Unless I press the button again.
Too.
Yeah. It produces the most smoke of any of these devices.
Definitely.
So that's 2 different modes. You got a time delay, and then you got a continuous, and the continuous will blow for quite some time until it will turn itself off. There's 2 other defining features here. Is that it is covered in grip tape. This is like skateboard grip tape. I mean, this is you can.
grip it.
Oh wow, yeah. You just touch it and you're like, oh wow. Yeah, it does feel like skateboard grip tape.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want to palm this, you don't need to work hard to hold on to that.
No,
I mean,
not at all.
No. The other thing is there's two other ways to attach it here. One is this loop in the back. This is a loop. I'm not sure if we can get. I doubt we can get close enough on this, but this loop is integrated into the body, so you can attach this to a pole. And then there's a magnet on the bottom with a plate, so you can. And this is
inside your jacket.
Yeah,
or
so you could stick this to a magnet if you know the polarity. You can easily check the polarity, or you can set this on something, or even there's felt on the bottom of this, but that you could like drill through. I mean, there's pilot holes right there, so you could attach this to something. So that's the ways you can do this. This is $250. It comes with a nice little carrying case, and it comes with a charger. The charger is it's a USB-A to micro USB, and it just plugs right into the face. There's a little LED indicator to turn it on and off, and it comes with smoke solution, like everything else. Not as much smoke fluid as the smoke screen, but again, like one drop is good for a long time.
Yeah, don't let the bottles be any sort of influence into your own choice when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, so it's a very complete product by itself. It's interesting. I think it has some misses, and the miss for me is no remote.
Okay.
Because, so I will say the one that the smoke device that I use, that I carry to every one of my gigs, is not any of these three, and I couldn't even tell you where to get it. I bought two of them at a Magic convention, but because I wasn't sure if I could ever get it again, and the big thing for me was it had a remote, because the only way you can activate this is by pressing this tiny button on the front, and you could miss this, right? If you're palming it like this, you're going to have to come in with your other hand. You're going to have to, or you're going to have a weird way to hit it with your finger.
Yeah, I mean, sure. It looks like he's designed it though so that you're not as much palming it, right? Like
no, you could have this hidden in your sleeve on something in your suit coat, but again, you're not going to be able to trigger this by remote. You're going to have to go hit the button. If you're doing the continuous version, obviously you're going to have to hit it again to turn it off. If you have the remote or the time delay version, you can hit it, and then but you've got to know your timing.
For the type of magic that you do, you would absolutely need a remote because you're doing a lot of walk around.
Would you say this has more of a home in like a constructed act as opposed to
I would say that this is going to live more in the constructed act.
If like Shin Lim might use this.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is something that if you had like a competition act, or you had like a formal table set, or even like on stage, and you wanted to like reach into something and get something, you could hit that device as you were going to go. This is a great smoke device.
Yeah, it definitely outputs the best smoke here.
Yeah. I mean it pushes the smoke a long way. There's a lot of smoke, but you have to physically activate it every time, which to me makes it very difficult to recommend, at least for a walk-around performer. I can see a lot of use cases for this, but it's not for me. When I start to like look at these other devices, I really like Smokescreen. I mean, the fact that it's easily palmable, because you're palming it the way you are, and you're going to be activating it in the moment with that big, nice, wide button on there. I can see using that to add a lot of accents. What concerns me about that one is that the element, I actually almost burned myself over there because I had it facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, so that is so basically, and I didn't get to mention the tools that you get with it while we're talking about it. It does come with an extra wick here and screwdriver. That's just to get this old one out. So I've used this before, and it never really seemed to matter. I don't know if it's just like you want to change the dirty one out and put a new one in, because I think it'll just work basically forever. But yes, you are correct. The stuff that is happening here does get hot, and it is exposed. Now, if it's in the palm of your hand this correct way, when you're pushing it down, there's nothing touching here. But if you were to touch that, it is very warm.
It's very, very warm. Now, I'll say, I got a smoke device that I've used for 3 years now, and I've never...
They all kind of do that, though.
They all operate the same way. There's a wick that you put this oil on, and then it consumes consumes the oil with a heating element. However, as long as the oil is on the wick, I've never had a wick get to the point where you can't use it anymore.
Right, exactly.
So it's great that they include new wicks.
Extra one, right?
But I've never had to replace a wick.
Like this one, does this one heat up?
It does.
Okay.
The element is inside.
So
the
it's not something you'd want to hold.
Right.
No.
Okay.
But I could see putting this underneath a watch band.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's how it's most commonly used under watch band.
Because so one side isn't going to burn you.
Right.
Okay.
I think, does this have a fan on it?
No, it's literally literally where it burns the wick is where the smoke comes from. There's no fan or anything.
This has a little fan.
Because these two have fans. Now this fan's pretty big. This fan is fairly small, but the smoke comes out. If I'm going to turn this back on again so that we can see it, the smoke comes out of this front area here. So there's a fan that is directing.
Yeah, it really is pushing. It does put out a lot of smoke.
Yeah,
it really does.
Yeah, once you for such a little device. I mean,
yeah, man.
Does this
pretty
work?
powerful.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So here's something that I just figured out. The button on the remote works even if this is in the on-off position. Yeah. The on-off position on the remote is just for the gravity.
Ah, okay.
But now I'm still putting out smoke, but I'm pressing that button.
Right. Okay.
I think that these are three different use cases.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like about that is just how it's activated.
Yeah. It's
just so natural to be in this position.
Now you cannot use this anywhere else other than your hand.
No. Yeah.
It is the only spot that you can use it. Because I can even see for my own self, a lot of times if I'm working on something and I want to use smoke, it is going to be more of an act. I mean, yeah, it's great to be able to use smoke in close up. I mean, it's, but you got to jump through some hoops to get that done.
Yeah.
It's palming something while holding other things and pushing a button and doing what you're supposed to do is not saying it's impossible, but it is, a thing that you have to think about. I really enjoy just putting the smoke device in something and then not thinking about it. I hit the button. Okay, I got 10 seconds. You're good.
Yeah, I can totally see that. Now, like I said, it all comes down to the remote for me, whether or not you have the remote.
Yeah.
And the reliability of the remote, because there are other smoke devices that we're not covering here that I've used that have remotes, and the remote didn't always work.
Right.
The wireless remote didn't always work. Now, there are ones that have remotes that are sort of wired into it, where those always worked. Every time you hit the button, it fired. And then I can think of, have you ever messed with, I think it's Trevor Duffy has one that's it's cruise ship proof.
What is that one? What is the, it's like Old Smoky or something like that.
Yeah. That's a funny description.
Yeah. Well, that's what when I met him, he showed it to me, and it's
not electronic.
It's mechanical. There is an electronic component to make the smoke, but it's not constructed. It's a commercially available product.
It doesn't fit these three. Yeah. But if you if you are a working pro, I think you have to look at Trevor Duffy's.
Yes.
I think his has probably stood the test of time when it comes to traditional smoke devices.
I mean, that's been out for 20
It's been out for a while. Yeah.
Well, let's get to the picks. These are all very cool. They've got different use cases, but Nick, what's your pick?
It's tough. Put me on the spot. I mean, I've used smokescreen. It's the cheapest of the bunch. I would say that this is my pick.
Yeah.
Weirdly, it doesn't fit in the same category as these two because you can't use it anywhere else other than your hand.
Yes.
Right? So because if I was using smoke close-up, this is it, 100,000%. I would have to think about other options if I wanted to do something else, and that's where I actually do magic more is in act stuff. So I would still pick this for you guys because look, if you want to get into smoke, $100 is probably the entry level price point. And this is something that works. It's easy to do. You don't do enough. You put a drop in it and hit the button. I mean, how easy? It can't get any easier. And it'll make all of your close-up magic better. So smokescreen, it's a great deal, and does what you want it to do.
Yeah. Sean, what's your pick?
Well, this is really great looking. It's just not for me. I don't think it's for most performers. I think it's has it's a very defined segment of people that would love to have something like that. But as you said, the remote control is so important.
Yeah, there's a kind of a big miss on that.
Yeah.
It feels like, yeah.
The way it ignites, I think is just really cool. That it makes the most sense as far as like you're basically squeezing it and smoke comes out.
Yeah.
But I gave this a hard time because of how it looks. But we've sold tons of Smogglers. They are, and it's a good quality device. The gravity feature is really cool, and I think you would want to have this in a watch band or something, so your hands are essentially free. This will blend into things that will be hidden. It can be under your sleeve, so it is essentially invisible.
Yeah, I'm impressed with this.
And it gives a ton of smoke. It's tiny. I mean, it's in the middle as far as the price range goes. I just think it's just, for all of its weaknesses, the strengths are so strong.
Yeah, I do think it has strengths on both of these. Yeah.
So you're picking Smoggler?
I'm picking Smoggler.
I got to be honest, I'm picking Smoggler as well. Now, if Hal Miranda came out with a remote feature with one of these, because this is really well designed and really well built, and I'm very excited about like the future of this.
Should mention that Hal's one of the best gimmick builders in Magic.
Absolutely.
Period. Like anything you buy from him is going to be you know, you don't have to worry about quality.
I feel like there's some big misses here, but I also feel like this was built with a very specific purpose in mind.
Sure.
And because Hal was so careful and so clever about the way he built stuff that I know that there was specific use cases in this, but I got to stick with one. I have to go with the Smoggler. This is rough, this is scary looking.
Yeah.
But man, it works. And the remote, to me, the remote is
so important.
Is so important, and the gravity feature just really impresses me. I can see
smart.
It's so smart, and actually, I'm really seriously thinking about swapping out my current smoke device for a Smoggler.
Like, I'm with you guys.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to go, like I said, it's kind of a separate category.
Yeah.
You know, because this is hands only.
Yeah.
If I was to go with something that I was going to use in an act, and I had to pick between these two, I'm going here.
Yeah. I mean, Hal teaches some great routines on this. This is a complete, fantastic product, but my pick is the Smoggler because of the remote, the size. I mean, it's crazy. And also,
the price.
The price is great, but I kind of like the light.
The light could be cool.
I don't know what I want to do with that, but I've never seen a smoke device with a light on it before.
You don't have to get the light, right?
You don't have to get the light, but I'm kind of interested in doing the... I mean, I use the smoke device as an accent when a coin vanishes, and I can totally see making that coin vanish and a smoke and a light appear. I think
would be worth trying.
It would be, it'd be worth trying. There's further that I'm going to have to go because I'm going to have to make a wristband for this. I'm going to have to find out where I'm going to hide the remote. But this product excites me and it makes me want to like change a lot of stuff. Smoggler L is my pick.
Man, unexpected.
I was not expecting that either. Yeah.
Well, that is it for this edition of Magic Matchup. Please be sure to like and subscribe so that you can find out when more of these videos come out. Please comment below and let us know your picks. If there's a smoke device that that is currently on the market, because we know that these come on and off the market all the time.
All the time.
If there's a smoke device that's currently on the market that we missed that we should talk about, tell us what where we're wrong, where we're right, where we agree, where you disagree, and let us know because we read each and every one of these comments, and also let us know what other matchups you would like to see. Thanks very much for watching. On behalf of Nick, Sean, and everyone here at the P3 Magic Studios, we'll see you next time.